I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant. Here with you another day, another time, another jam, as we continue to be able to talk about these things, talk about where we are from a national perspective, talk about growth and development for the country, talk about how we're making these particular things happen. And we are here in our own studio, top of the hill, Market Street, as we continue to be able to do what we must with what we can, all right? Guys, we're here and we're jamming. We're grateful to be with you. Don't worry about that. The aesthetics is not necessarily what we're used to, especially on this page. But we're starting something out, trying to be able to get our own equipment and make some things happen. You got to start with baby steps, so don't fight me as we continue to be able to do that. And I don't want to lose you, so we'll only be able to keep your content and be able to keep it rich and real, ready for you to be able to, so we can be able to deliver it and have good conversations about the country. So this is where we are, guys. Top of the hill, Market Street. People keep saying, how are you saying Market Street? Market Street. Right across the street from C.R. Walker and Government House right there. You can be able to see us. We're here on the top of the hill being able to make these particular things happen and really being jamming the way that we must to talk about these things from a national perspective. Well, there's a lot of things that's actually made the news over the past 24 hours, I don't know, and really being able to talk about where we are as a people, as a nation, as a family, and trying to make a determination as to whether or not we're making the right steps. I look with significant interest as to what's happening around the world. I look with significant interest as to what's happening around the country. And I look at the interests of how the country, whether it's politics or geopolitics, plays a part in those particular things. And so I look and I watch and with anticipation, I wait to see what would happen and whether or not we're prepared to make some things happen. I'm here and I am interested. Can I say that? Extremely interested in the happenings within our political sector. I'm telling you, I'm very, very excited about that and very excited to be able to talk to you about it because there is a perspective that I have that, you know, other people have their own perspective, but I have a unique view and I'm willing to kind of go to bat for it. I believe some things are shifting in this country. I believe that they are. I believe that for the first time, well, not for the first time, historically we've been able to see that this organization has been at the forefront of change either by design or them taking the helm and actually being able to do that, and that's the PLP. I think the PLP is leading the change that we're seeing happening during this dispensation as it relates to what's happening in the electoral cycle. I believe that they are. And the difficulty that we have in being able to identify that is you don't want to believe that the PLP are trendsetters and go-getters. You don't want to believe that. You want to be able to nestle yourself in the position, especially if you are one of those persons who support the Free National Movement, or who support fringe organizations, or who, by its core and the foundation, you support the idea of justice and liberty and relentless pursuit to being able to acquire those things. Let's talk. Let's talk. It may be difficult for you to be able to see that because of the language that has been spoken over the PLP already. It may be difficult for you to be able to see that the PLP are an organization, or is an organization, that continues to be able to evolve. And even in the midst of evolution, they are the trendsetters that move our country in a particular direction. You don't want to believe that. You would rather fight me. You would rather do these particular things, but I am going to make a case for it today. I just want to send this out, guys. Make sure you like and share the podcast. If you guys are out there and you're watching with me today, I'd love you to be able to like and share the podcast and see exactly what's what, so we can be able to make some things happen as we continue to jam La Ciudad in the city. On any of those particular platforms, as we continue to be able to do that. But we're YouTube and Facebook based at this particular moment. Now, prior, when we were in the other studio, we were also on TikTok, but that is some stuff that I have to purchase. Amen? Well, not TikTok itself, but the equipment necessary to be able to ensure that we can do that. And we're going to do it, you know. I mean, once you stick with me, it's going to be incremental, but it's going to be change. And so the one thing that I want to be able to ensure that I keep steadfast in this space is content. Content is crucial. Content is king. And so I always want to be able to keep good content and have you guys be able to kind of dive in with me as we talk about these things. I want to take a little time out today. And like I said, I know that it's not going to be an easy thing to do. It's not going to be a pill. It's one of those pills that you despise taking, right? You don't know whether or not it's good for you. You just, the relentless regurgitation, or the relentless necessity for being able to consume that is one of the things that you don't want to do. I accept that. I'm not going to fight you. I'm not here to shove any political organization down your throat. But I want to be able to make, not necessarily for what I believe to be the next dispensation of leadership in the country, but what I believe to be an organization poised with a very clear understanding of what needs to come next in the country. That's it. This is not, it's not a desire to be able to say to you, PLP over FNM. This is not what this is. This is, I'm just looking at the cards. Shouts out to my guys over at Crystal Select. You want to be able to get Crystal Select and be able to pick that thing up. It's on East Street South. You can be able to go down there and get yourself taken care of for my guy, Mr. Clark. All right? Remember, we talked about these things and continue to be able to tell you that. If you want to be able to get your own bottles and you want to be able to get your stuff, if you want to be able to get your stickers on it with your logo and your other stuff that you want to be able to do out there, you can do that. These are great for conferences. These are great for your church meetings. These are great for, the events, your organizational meetings. Just let persons know that your professionalism is on another level. You want to go down there and check them out. 325-1416, 325-1416 East Street South, just south of when you cross over and you on East Street and you're crossing over the Soldier Road, right? So when you cross over Soldier Road, you headed south, you cross over Soldier Road right there. It's maybe 3 or 4 buildings on the left-hand side where you can see some bottles out in the front. It's a yellow building. It's right there. So you can't miss it. And he's right there. He'd be more than happy. And he also delivers affordable water, delivery, creativity, opportunity. You want to be able to do that, right? Crystal Select. My guys. So I just often be able to hit them up and talk about those things, right? It's a gorgeous day, and I want to take this time out to talk to you about it. I want to take this time out to talk to you about it, to have a very clear conversation about where we are in the country, have a very clear conversation of what I see. Um, it's always important that you bridge these conversations with a historic reference. For me, it's always important that for me to be able to lay it out from, far and wide, from east to west, that I give you a historic reference and an anchor that can be able to hold you historically. Now, the Free National Movement had its tribulations, and they found tenacity in the organization in the early days. They found passion in the organization in the early days. There was a collective cause in the organization in the early days. This is prior to 82, right? So their tenacity, their push, their cause, their collective convictions that resided in one space did not give them victory. It didn't. It didn't. It was a group of people that continue to be able to churn away at their or chomp at the bit at their political convictions and believing that this is a path that should be taken, because what we've seen come out of the Progressive Liberal Party is not the organization that we wish to be a part of. And so the Dissident 8 being able to come together and make this determination that we believe that there should be righteousness and a path of growth and development for the country. Their determination placed them in a position that they want to move in a specific path and a course. So they locked arms and they formed the Free PLP. The Free PLP. As a result of forming the Free PLP, the UBP essentially was crumbled. And the UBP, whether pronounced or in a secretive manner, forged an alliance with the Free National Movement. As a result of this alliance, there was fuel for the fire that existed in the Free PLP. The proverbial fuel was the finances necessary to be able to find yourself in the proper position. And so there was structure that was accompanied the passion that existed in this space. However, the passion never was structured to the position of being able to acquire the country. Let's just shoot straight. Let's just shoot straight. Okay? As they continue to be able to move forward and being able to identify that some things needed to change. Now, I've spoken to a great deal of men within the organization that didn't say to me that there was a collective consensus for shifting in leadership, that they indicated to me that Cecil wasn't of the best of health. This is what they said to me, okay? That Cecil wasn't at the best of health. And as a result of this, they needed to be able to ensure that someone sat in his stead. And whatever recruitment they did, I understand that there was a small grouping that approached Hubert Ingram. Now, Ingram was tenacious, vivacious, politically astute, bold, creative, and he knew what it took to be able to take leadership by force, because he proved himself. He proved himself with his newspaper, The Beacon. He proved himself in his posture when he was the chairman of the organization. He proved himself by being able to go against the prime minister and the leader of the PLP when they went and chose Bala. Was it Bala? Bala or Baba? Bala over McQueenie, Sean McQueenie. Despite the fact that the prime minister and the leader of the organization has indicated that he was the proverbial blue-eyed boy of the organization. The organization was trying to be able to shave itself of that kind of that rough, rugged tone, that camisole. It was almost like a rugged camisole, an overcoat that the organization had that it was seeking to kind of rid itself of. I'm watching it. Listen. Sean McCraney was a representation of a posh, light-skinned, articulate, insightful, educated young man that needed to strategically be placed within the organization so the organization could be able to have a mass appeal. The PLP never had mass appeal unless that mass was the working class. Yeah. Upper class and upper middle class never was attracted and gravitated towards the PLP. Never. They never did. And as a result of this, being able to do that, they put Sean McCraney strategically in a position. And I believe, without being told, with just being able to look at the optics, look at the layout, look at these particular things, I believe, I'm convinced, that this was a subconscious desire from leadership or the leader of the PLP to strategically put the type of people in place that can give the mass appeal to the middle class, the upper middle class, and be able to cause a solidification for the PLP. However, the grassroots that they announced and enunciated themselves to and articulated themselves to with such fluidity, the PLP did. The grassroots had already become disciples. And in the midst of that discipleship, didn't even recognize, watch me, didn't even recognize that as a result of being able to be inducted and baptized into this discipleship, that they had, for the most part, not everything, now there's an exception and there's a rule, but for the most part, the rule is that induction into this proverbial hall of fame of a grassroots, there is no out. There is no growth, there's no expansion, there is no out. And so, the discipleship of being able to be a grassroots didn't give room for growth in that particular space. There is now, and even now, there is a perpetual and a relentless articulation that says, we are grassroots, we are poor, we are middle class, we are poor people. This is an announcement, a pronouncement, a declaration over their lives. And no one fixes this. They've accepted their fate, in a sense. And I believe that this was a necessity at the forefront. Being able to go out to these particular persons with your gallon bucket, being able to go out to these persons with your hat, and being able to go out to these particular spaces, it was crucial. You needed support from majority black people. You needed to get the common man to be able to grab hold of this vision, this passion that you had for reformation in your country, and the PLP did just that. As a result of doing that, they found themselves in this position where it was like fire, like wildfire. It caught on and it spread from one generation to another. And the PLP captured and held this position for 25 years, leadership in this country. 25 consecutive years. Now, at one juncture, at a particular space, at a time, the FNM understood that despite the tribulation that was happening in the organization, despite the health issues that was associated with Cecil at the time, the FNM understood for us to be able to get over this hump, we needed fresh perspective, new leadership. This grouping that I understand was a small grouping that presented itself to Hubert Alexander Ingram, and he kind of dusted off, brushed it off. Then he eventually took it serious and he presented himself accordingly. His victory changed the course of elections, changed the course of politics, changed the course of how things are done in this country from a political standpoint. He had become a proverbial king in our country. And as a result of that, the PLP, through its observation post 25 years, understood that change was not only necessary, it was inevitable. They watched that change rise and they carried and harbored this fear. Watch me. I'm telling you a good story, This is a good story. It's a good damn story. Because it's a true story. The fear that the PLP had in being able to watch a 1992 victory, right? Watch me. A 1992 victory for the FNM, a 1997 victory for the FNM, is the observation that gimmicks in terms of the alleged flying from one constituency to another, the underhanded things that were done, that was pronounced by the Free National Movement to be able to kind of label the PLP as cheaters, as corrupt, right? These alleged underhand things that happened in the organization that was frowned upon, but was never necessarily being able to be enshrined in law as illegal, that eventually became illegal. Those things are no longer accepted in this space. And so the PLP had to do something for 2 consecutive election cycles. They had to watch the Free National Movement and identify how they were victorious. I do not remember the PLP's campaign in 1997. I do not remember the PLP's campaign in 1992. I do remember the PLP's campaign and every one since 2002. I do remember the FNM's campaign in 1992. I do remember the FNM's campaign in 1997. I can tell you, better, better, it's gonna get better. Better, better, it's gone. Now, beyond the conditioning in my home, this was a rhythm that actually spilled out into the community of the Bahamas. Better now and better to come when the FNM win 2 straight. I didn't look that up. That lived in my brains. I remember I for Tanya, I for FNM. The rhythm, as black people, this rhythm live in us. They understood this. The FNM tapped into a marketing and tapped into the psyche of the Bahamian people and slipped into our souls. Between 1992 and 1997, they slipped into our being. And they were victorious. The PLP understood this. They understood the assignment. And no need to be able to look for any other candidates. They didn't need to look for higher caliber candidates. They didn't need to look for a posh candidate to be able to present them accordingly, to be able to show the diversity within their organization. They didn't need to do any of that. They embraced exactly who they was. And they decided to be able to jump on the same bandwagon of a political psyche and get into the minds and the rhythm of the Bahamian people. Music and rhythm and rhymes. That's what Negroes like. Hey, listen, this was a part of the shocking and jiving era. Huh? Give me 5 on the backhand side. All this rhythm and the rhymes that was associated with it was a part of the DNA of the black man, of the black man. And the PLP used that. The FNM used that to their advantage in 92 and 97. They gave you this sort of an idea. Government in the sunshine. Whoa, what's going on here? Government in the sunshine. These ideas that was labeled in such a manner. It cast an image in your brains. It cast an image that said, oh my God, We was living in the shade for all this time. This is a dark period. It was the political dark years for the country. Despite the liberty, despite the access, despite the opportunity that existed in 73, that existed in 64, that existed in these particular times and spaces, despite all 64, 67, 73, all these things that happened, the elections that preceded, especially 82 and 87, were tumultuous. And it kind of highlighted this glorified totalitarian that persons would have identified the then prime minister to be in that space, in that time. He did excellent. 73 to 83 was excellent. Or leading up to 83 was excellent. And I often say we've seen the world shift. After Martin Luther King died, after there was this sort of a liberty in the civil rights movement, after the introduction of 1981 with the first case with the established position of being able to identify HIV, after there was this sort of this epidemic that hit the world with cocaine and so forth and so on, people's perspective shifted. And this gravelicious, this approach to be able to hurl yourself towards acquisition, towards money, towards mammon, it shifted a lot of things in this country and in the world, to be honest with you. In the entire world, it shifted a great deal of things. And in the midst of this shift, in the midst of these particular things, the FNM understood a sound and a rhythm. And they delivered that to us. They literally delivered it. In fact, they packaged it in such a way that Hubert Ingram was the delivery boy. They gave us what we was looking for. It was a package that was held up by the Prince of Persia, the political Prince of Persia, for far too long, 25 years. And this package was delivered to us by Hubert Ingram. Now the PLP watched this, and in 2002, a fresh breeze is blowing. Hello. They understood marketing. Now, no political organization, including the Free National Movement, could ever touch the PLP. Because the Free National Movement, especially with the influence of former leadership, more specifically Hubert Alexander Ingram, who would continue to be able to recall what was done in 92 and 97 in search of victory in these modern eras, in this modern era, he will always hit a bump because the PLP has evolved their marketing tool and they have become masters at this. They have become masters in this stead. And as a result of that, and a result of being able to identify these things, the PLP is now finding themselves in this position where they're doing a great deal. Again, not only have they understood the necessity of the fact that victory comes and goes, and comes and goes, and comes and goes. The PLP understands that. And they're not bitter about it. They've taken on the same posture that Fred Mitchell has taken and say that, today for me, today for you, tomorrow for me. And all he has done and being able to encourage his organization to do is prepare for tomorrow. Prepare for tomorrow. That preparation for tomorrow actually spills deeper than the surface. The PLP are the forerunners in this country and, dare I say, throughout the region. That might be ambitious of me. But dare I say, throughout the region, of being able to prepare itself for the inevitable transition the undeniable transition of power. But they smart. They're not seeking to merely have power taken from them. They're not seeking to release themselves of the power that they hold through death, through dementia, through trial and tribulation, through scandal. They are strategically placing themselves in a position. I'm getting too deep at y'all. The PLP is strategically placing themselves in a position of leadership through mentorship. I tell you, my perspective is different. The FNM has not evolved from 1992 in their approach to campaigning. They have found success because of a rejection by the Bahamian people of an entire organization, a government. But the FNM has not evolved in their approach to campaigning. In fact, they're using the same people they used. They've not evolved. And as a result of the lack of evolution, they find themselves stagnant and looking back at the person who said, well, this is what you're going to do, and this is what you're going to do. The FNM is ill prepared for the future. And I don't mean their policies, their positions. They're ill prepared without the strategic leadership of youthful minds and hearts. They have not nurtured and taken care of passion. They have not mentored men and women in the organization. They've rejected youth. They've rejected youth time and time again. And it's a sad thing. I know you don't want me to talk about this, but how much time you can screw one man over? How much time? How much time y'all gonna mess on Jamal Moss' head and he look at it, know it's mess, but choose to call it peanut butter? How much time? How much time that young people got to be the proverbial sacrificial lamb in the organization by being able to go up against people like Glennis Hanna, go up against people like the Prime Minister, go up against people that are undeniable and unshaken in their political position from the opposition. How much time? How much time that you go in there on a wig and a prayer and still don't take care of these people? How much time? The FNM has not learned, and they are ill prepared for the transition, the inevitable transition that's happening in this country. Say what you like, almost every single candidate that took over for the PLP over the course of the last 3 years have been under the age of 45, maybe 45 and under. They definitely under 50. Let's do this. Now, whilst that may not necessarily be this kind of a, whooping thing, you can't hoot and holler about that. The fact is that the PLP has made a conscious decision to be able to identify and strategically place and support youth in these positions. And not only have they supported youth, remember, you ain't snatching power from them, you ain't fighting them for power. There is a very clear transition that all and sundry is a part of. There is a mentorship and an exchange of knowledge. Yeah. So there is in this exchange for experience and knowledge for the youth and the perception. Yeah. So the mentorship gives them the experience, the knowledge, the know-how, and the young person who steps to the forefront gives the party and the people, the grassroots, the supporters, the Bahamas, the perception of youth and passion is filled in these spaces. Sabas Bastian, potentially Owen Wells, potentially Robin Lyons, Clint Watson, who's a little over that particular age bracket. I don't think Clint's 50 yet. I don't think he's 50. He's 50. I don't think he's 50 yet, right? But Clint Watson, who still is a representation of a youthful outlook and embodies a true sense of vision and a new direction. You understand? Barry Griffin. Barry Griffin, right? Randy Rowe. The PLP in the last dispensation, we're looking at people like Young, Tyrell Young, out of Long Island. The PLP has made a conscious effort and decision to strategically put youth in its place. We're seeing this young Moss lady come to the forefront now, speaking on her position. We see that JoBeth Colby is doing well since our last stretch. We see that Leslie Miller Bryce is doing well. And I tell you, I like the organization. They pay homage to legacy. They pay homage to these particular things. You say what you want. I think that this is good. There is even an unspoken succession plan that exists in the organization. And every time you see them, every time you see one of these men, including Sabas, there is mentorship that accompanies them, that flanks them. Like a guard, there is experience and mentorship that flanks them. I love this. I love this. Now you may be indifferent with this. You may not necessarily want to see this. You may disagree with this, and I accept it. But I love this. PLP, FNM, it don't make a difference to me. Young people are getting a chance, and the PLP is giving them that chance. If you say you can call them failures, you can't call a man a failure and never give him a chance. You got to give him a chance to fail. The Free National Movement has not done that. They smile at you in the same spirit of what the former leader, Hubert Ingram, would have done, slap you on your shoulder and say, yeah, it's not your time, it's not your time. For a 60-some-year-old man? Who's enthusiastic about that? Who's eager about that? Who's interested in that? I love this. I love this. I can't tell you the PLP can win because of it. I'm simply saying to you that a conscious decision to include youth, win, lose, or draw, is crazy. Somebody just texted me and say, the FNM always had a better theme song, for real though. The FNM knew the rhythm of the black man. Who you voting for? FNM. Who you voting for? FN. Who you? Come on, man. This was jamming. You understand? You go to them campaigns as superficial as you are, as inept as you are, without the capability of understanding the political landscape and what's happening around the countries with deals, with concepts, with ideas. You don't know none of this. All you know is, damn, this is a good time tonight. Be jamming out here. Huh? Even right down to when Hubert Ingram come on and they play doom, doom, doom. You're simply the best. Right now in this country, you sing that song. If Tina Turner's singing that on one of these radio stations, you think about Hubert Ingram. They have conditioned you to accept this. The F&M did this in 92 and 97. The PLP's campaign surpassed that. The last two campaigns the PLP threw surpassed that. Now, to the victor goes the spoils. I don't really remember the PLP's campaign last time. When Perry Christie lost. I can't remember it. I remember We Believe in Bahamians. That year, the F&M sank to the bottom. I cannot remember the campaign during that time for the F&M. I'm telling you, who's ever victorious, their campaign always comes to the forefront. It bubbles to the surface. The People's Time, which came out late, was a trash campaign. It was a scrap gang concept and idea. It was trash. And then New Day, oh man. And New Day was ready to go. They pulled the trigger like this. BAM! New Day was all over the country, and then only one F&M was prepared, even though the Prime Minister called a snap election. New Day was all over the country overnight, and only one F&M was prepared, Shannon Cartwright. When you look at these things and when you start to have conversations about this and you realize some things, for me, as I'm watching this is bigger than politics. This is bigger than politics. As we get deeper into the political time, I'd like to say to you that I'm not looking to vote for a candidate. I'm looking to vote for an organization that affords opportunity. Power comes from politics in this country. Real power and influence comes from politics in this country. And if we're going to empower our Bahamian people through entrepreneurialism, through education, through all these particular elements and avenues, I need to see where the head of these organizations, the heart of these organizations exist. See if there's an articulation that exists on the internal aspect of what needs to happen. I'm listening to Michael Pintar take on this kind of a position that indicate that if we win, there will be fixed terms for prime ministers. There will be only 2 terms for prime ministers and a fixed date for elections. Okay. For us sitting here and guessing when these things are going to, what the hell difference does it make? No man knows the day or the time. No, I don't understand. We exist in these principles. You wake up in the morning and prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, and try to be able to do these things, you still get in an accident. You didn't expect these things to happen. The only thing you need to know is whether or not you're prepared. You wake up tomorrow morning, you don't feel well. You did not anticipate these things happening. You didn't know that this would happen. Only thing you need to do is be prepared. You wake up, your wife decided to leave you. You didn't know this was going to happen. All the signs you would have seen and all the cussing and all the murmuring and all these things that you don't know. The only thing you need to do is be prepared. It don't matter when the general election is called once it's in the confines of the law that requires it to be called in a specific time. The only thing you need to do is be prepared. Don't allow anxiety to take hold of you and this anticipation. There's sort of an idea that you could present to your donors and say, well, you know, the day coming quick, I need you to release some money now. And no, you need to be prepared. Your ill-prepared posture placed you in a position where you believe that you have to tell everybody, you got to tell us when the day is. That's all you want this for. You need to have a day so you can go back to your donors and say, well, we're 6 months out and we need to have this, and so you get to do this because time campaign required this and that. Listen, bro, listen. You don't need none of that. You only need to be prepared. You're trying to play too much games. You're trying to play the game of old that existed here prior to 1992. So you get advice in the organization that is reminding you of a time that existed. And so you, in your mind, for what's happening in the country and what's happening around the world, are trying to be able to ensure that there is a balance between global events and local events. And that balance is throwing you off. You would have been better off if you know the exact day and the exact time. But what's the fun in that? What is the fun in that? It's politics, sir. This is politics. No man know the day or time. But also in the word of God it says that young men and young babies will have dreams, and old women and old men will be able to tell us tales and sayings. You don't see the signs that exist in the PLP? Information that's spitting out to indicate that they can try to ratify everybody from Thursday, and you ain't ready yet? Let's talk, man. And let's shoot straight with all these particular things. I like the fact that there is a succession plan in the PLP. I don't like the fact that the FNM has not evolved from 1992 and keep regurgitating the same concept and the same principles with the expectation to get to something that existed prior. Now, see, the only thing that remains the same in this life is God. But things have changed. Time has changed. Mindsets have changed. Expectations have changed. Passions, focus have changed. All these things. You can't hit them with an old campaign with an expectation to get fresh, new victory. You can't. You got to be able to be fresh. You got to be on point. You got to be steadfast. You got to be focused. You got to know your audience. And I'm not saying that. I'm not seeing that in the Free National Movement. And that's it. And so I just want to be able to say that and give kudos and recommendations. When we get back, we can talk about Monroe Face's challenge of party nomination for Freetown and how those things are happening. All right? Let's take a quick break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
Taking Bahamian music to the world. This DJ Sampler. Hit that subscribe button like a goatskin drum.
Hello, Ricky. It's Johnny Gate. Man. Listen, don't believe they're trying to keep us locked down. They want us go inside the kill man. They're just breaking straight, man. That's sweet music. You know why they go there. You know when they go there, it's kill man. Watch this. When the music plays, I'm the first one to dance. Sexy gal gon' whine on me while my rum in my hand. Reggae spread so sweet, don't think you understand. I go in to mash up the place every time I go by the farm. I always get drinking till I lose and I wet. Nobody gon' watch me if I can't bad and I sweat. On your market set, drunk but I ain't missing a step. Man, if you ain't feel the vibe, then stay over there by yourself. the reggae with some blue marlins in my hands. Reggae stays so sweet, don't think you understand. Man, you know, woman, man, back on a man. I always get drinking till I lose and I bet. Nobody gon' watch me if I get over and I sweat. On your market set, drunk but I ain't missing the step. Mind if you ain't feel no vibe, then stay over there by yourself. When we can scrape return, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When we can scrape return, I can drink all the rum, I can get all mine. When we can scrape return, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When we can scrape return, I can drink all the rum, I can get all mine. Get him, Ricky! Just give me the red gas scrape. Beat that drum and scrape that red. I get strong inside long way. I like some fish with only cake and say. 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 Like some fish with only.
3 a.m. and I'm waiting for the sun. Lost track of the days, man. Look at this, ain't no fun. Cell phone in my left hand, TV on my right. My mouth extra dry 'cause there ain't no rum inside. Longing for the days when I was wild and free. Out to everything was lit, not a care or worry. Now it's like I've joined the
Yo, yo,
clan of
bust it, bass
HMP.
sampler,
But
bust
I
it,
ain't
mother.
commit no crime, so please set me free. Loose me, let me go. I don't want the inside no more. Loose me, let me go. This is killing me, that's for sure. So let me out, let me out, let me out, yeah, let me out. Loose me, let me go. I don't want the inside no more.
The Bahamian music ambassador, DJ Sampler.
Nipsey LS.
Yo, yo, bust it, bass sampler, bust it, mothers.
It's 3 a.m. and I'm waiting for the sun. Lost track of the days, man. Look at this, ain't no fun. Cell phone in my left hand, TV on my right. My mouth extra dry 'cause there ain't no rum inside. Longing for the days when I was wild and free. Out to everything was lit, not a care or worry. Now it's like I've joined the clan of HMP. But I ain't commit no crime, so please set me free. Loose me, let me go. I don't want the inside no more. Loose me, let me go. This is killing me, that's for sure. So let me out, let me out, let me out, yeah, let me out. Loose me, let me go. I don't want the inside no more. Loose me, let me go. This is killing me, that's for sure, yeah.
Models, they say we on lockdown?
When we went to that, I'm tired, yeah. Life's inside ain't as easy as it seems. Sit back, let me tell you exactly what I mean. The children stay fighting, date up everything. I'm working like a slave while he sits up like a king. Can I help you? You sit and rest. Come here, babe, let me feel upon the breast. Mine is a nightmare, this ain't the life for me. I ain't commit no crime, so please just set me free. Loose me, let me go. I don't want the inside no more. Loose me, let me go.
Yo, yo, bust it, bass sampler, bust it, mothers.
His name was Arthur, he was my papa. He loved to whistle, boy he was good. Plowing the field or catching fish, you could hear Papa whistling like this. Oh, whistle Papa, you whistle so sweet. Hey. He was a Cat Island man, a gentleman. He said to be kind to all mankind. A choir master in Ebenezer, in Dumfries at the church upon the hill. Oh, aye. So fascinating to see someone whistle in harmony, and the look on his face, whistling lead, alto, tenor, and bass. Oh, whistle Papa, whistle Papa, whistle Papa, you whistle. Aye. I still see him in the field, planting seeds for a meal. In loving memory, I sing this song, thinking of Papa, whistling along. Oh, aye. My Papa boy.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, jamming with you another day, another time. I'm talking about these things right here live with you as we continue to be able to talk about where we are and our expectations of where we're going out here in La Ciudad, and being able to talk to you about just national issues, just growth and development, just these particular things. Now, I wanted to be able to say that as I'm looking at these things, I'm not going to be voting for any organization simply for a historic value and the tradition of voting for that organization. I know that there are people who do that. And in fact, I want to be able to encourage you guys to be able to get yourself registered to vote, to shift your constituency, to make sure that you're in a good position. I don't know where the hell my purple card is. I got to find that. But I got to go down to the Registrar General to ensure that I can be able to, I'm sorry, the Parliamentary Registration Department, so I can be able to get shifted from one constituency to another. I have moved and I've been living where I am now for about 2 years now. And so I have to be able to make sure that I get my things shifted from one space to another, so we can be able to do that and get yourself registered to vote. Because this looked like this can be a quick one. Can I say that? It looked like it can be quick, bop, boom. It looked like it can be quick. It looked like it can be quick. Get registered to vote, all right? Now, you may be on the registry, but you may be in the wrong constituency. If you moved, if some things have happened, if you're in the wrong constituency, if your constituency has been commandeered and absorbed into another, or your polling division has been absorbed into another constituency, you want to find out these information, you can be able to go into call into the Parliamentary Registration Department, or you can just merely be able to go into the Parliamentary Registration Department. They're located on on Harold Road or Tony Darling Highway. Harold Road, Tony Darling Highway, where the old Bank of the Bahamas used to be. Right there on the side of the Union, the old Bank of the Bahamas used to be, right there in that building. So you can go down there and get these things taken care of. Yeah, get registered to vote. There's some things in the papers, guys. Make sure that you be able to read that. Lukine staff sent home. This is the Tribune. We're looking at the Tribune today. Lukine staff sent home without pay. Concerns raised over access to NIB benefits from resort employees. Uncertainty deepened for Grand Lucayan resort workers yesterday after employees were sent home from the government-owned property without pay, as concerns also surfaced about other access to national insurance benefits. The Tribune learned that employees were instructed to leave the resort because it remains without running water. Only security personnel are currently on site, with fewer than 50 workers believed to remain employed. The engineering department was reportedly shut down last Friday. The latest development adds an ongoing uncertainty for staff who have faced repeated work disruptions since the government assumed control of the resort. Workers who spoke, let's go to 5, see exactly what's what. Workers who spoke with the Tribune under conditions of anonymity expressed concern about whether the government's financial support for the resort will continue beyond next month and whether employees will be paid going forward. President of the Trade Congress, Obie Ferguson, confirmed that he had received reports that the workers were sent home, but said that he was still seeking clarity on the circumstances. And the Obie goes on to say, says, I've gotten some feedback on that, and I'm making my inquiries now as to why that occurred. This is what Mr. Ferguson says. He says, I'm trying to find out what actually happened. Asked whether another issue was linked to the absence of the water at the resort, Mr. Ferguson said that he also had heard that explanation, but had not yet confirmed it with management. It was also told that I'm trying to reach the management of the resort to find out whether or not that is the correct position. That's what he says. And he goes on to say that while some workers contacted me to say that they were told to go home, this did not align with the understanding of the agreement with the resort. This is what they indicated. I'm not being properly instructed. I have not been properly instructed on why they have or would have been sent home. If there's no job there, some arrangements has to be made. But sending workers home without pay is another issue. Some workers have also claimed that when attempting to access national insurance benefits, they were told that contributions had not been paid. Since June of last year, Mr. Ferguson says that he was unaware of that issue and could not comment. That is news to me, this is what he said. Last year, May, the government signed an agreement to sell the Grand Lucayan Hotel Resort and the adjacent golf course as U.S.-based developer Concord Wilshire Capital for a reported $120 million. The deal includes plans for an $827 million redevelopment of the 56-acre resort beachfront property into a mixed-use resort and cruise destination. However, the destination has been slow. The transition has been slow. Now, let's talk about these things. The PLP needs a revived, renewed, restored mandate from the Bahamian people to go forward. The $1 million a month that was distributed for this particular property obviously has increased. And with that increase, there has not been a simultaneous increase of or influx of support or business coming in from an external standpoint. The government continues to be able to mend this and provide financial support to ensure that these things are taken care of, but there's no reciprocity in these areas. The kind staff sent home without pay is concerning, but it could have been, for all intents and purpose, anticipated. Yeah, it's not in a good, it's not in the best state right now. Grand Bahama is not. And if we're going to talk about going to an election, this may be a difficult one for the PLP to acquire all 5 seats in the constituency of Grand Bahama. And so it was a good move to create a space to ensure that you could be able to retain at least one in the Northern Bahamas, the Northwestern Bahamas, which would have been Bimini and Berry Island's seat, because I believe that that would be, if there's no wave, if everything is everything, and you're going toe to toe, blow for blow, I believe that will be. I believe that Randy Roll, in the event that he's ratified for that particular constituency, will be victorious, and so we wait to see what's going to happen Thursday. I believe that he will be victorious. I do believe my cousin's going to have a difficult time. Kingsley, I believe that you're going to have a difficult time. And your only hope for victory is that there is a strong independent that shows up that could take 450, 500 votes away from Omar Isaacs, sorry, not Archer, Isaacs. That's it. I believe that, I don't know the candidate that you got coming in Central Grand Bahama, but for all intents and purposes, if they in strong, if they're not a popular figure over the Free National Movement, right? So their popularity has to be able to expand beyond the political landscape, okay? Their popularity has to be, for the PLP to be able to acquire the position of Member of Parliament for the constituency of Central and Grand Bahama, their popularity, whoever this individual is, will have to span beyond. Their popularity must span beyond, right? Some people texting me say, "Lagging on YouTube, I gotta fix that," right? So their popularity has to span beyond. The Free National Movement's candidate and the Free National Movement as an organization. It has to. It has to. They have to be a bigger name in the constituency outside of Frazette. Now, I get some ideas of who is sort of a mammoth figure and steadily growing that can be able to give the PLP a run for the FNM a run for their money in the constituency of Central Grand Bahama. But for all intents and purposes, if you don't have that kind of person, the Free National Movement is going to take Central Grand Bahama. For all intents and purposes. Let's just have a very clear conversation. We started off with being able to look at Lukine staff disgruntled, Lukine staff sent home without pay, Lukine staff hasn't been paid, the hotel hasn't been sold, Concord Wilshire has not developed those particular things. United Manchester Group hasn't bought and developed the airport. There's some things that have been lagging, which is just the nature of business sometimes. But as a result of the nature of business, what follows that is the disapproval and disappointment of your constituents. That's it. The nature of business being what it is, there is highs and lows, there are lull points, there is some things it just happens. This is just business. I'm sitting here in front of you waiting on some things to happen that should have happened 3 weeks ago. Ain't happened yet. It's going to happen. Absolutely. It's going to happen. Now I just have to be able to use patience to be able to get to the objective, but it's going to happen. Now the people around me who are waiting for this particular thing to happen are growing impatient. They're growing possibly indifferent, and some things are going to happen, but I'm just going to have to be steadfast in my position and understand that come hell or high water, I got to be steadfast and being able to wait on this thing to happen. I can't force it to happen. These things happen naturally. You got to take your time with these things. And so, this is where I am. This is how we're talking. And this is what's going on in this country. This is just what it is. This is just what it is. There's no two ways about that. I'm looking at it, and I understand that as a result of the impatience that existed in this constituency, in this community, on the island of Grand Bahama, as a result of those things, coupled with the fact that there is an affection for the Free National Movement historically, since 1992 at least, being able to identify those things, and then maybe make a determination as to where we are, whether or not the PLP has that kind of a viable candidate that has the mass appeal of people being able to come towards him. There's a couple of things that's going to happen here. The PLP is going to lose some seats in Grand Bahama. And this is what it is. Kingsley and Ginger are the only two seats in Grand Bahama for the PLP right at this point. Kingsley Smith and Ginger Moxie, Ginger is also a cabinet minister. She's the minister of Grand Bahama. I believe Marco City is going to be F&M. I believe Central Grand Bahama is going to be F&M. I believe Kingsley will have a significant task ahead of him. And I told him this 2 years ago. And I said to the country 2 years ago that whoever won this seat for Obi Wilsham, even though the PLP won that seat victoriously and being able to celebrate that, whoever had to walk on their own in that constituency, whether attached to Bimini or not, is going to have a difficult time, even if the FNM was in that, because the promises that were made to West Grand Bahama have not been realized. They have been stagnant. They have been few and far between. There has been relentless conversations about possibilities that can happen, and there has not been tangibility in the space. That's it. And Casey doesn't have that kind of a jet-setting mass appeal that his charm could be able to cause people to hold off like how Obi used to do. Obi used to say, well, just gotta wait. Just gotta wait. Just be patient with me. We're gonna get this done. We're gonna definitely do this. Hello? Casey don't have that. And there's a believability factor. Even if he presented that, do people believe it? No, they're impatient. They are hungry. They haven't seen some things. The money, what was promised, may not necessarily be flowing in the constituency the way that it should. And now they've turned their position from what has happened with you, right? Let's just shoot straight. They've turned their position from what has happened with you or not happened with you, Kingsley. So it becomes personal. Well, I don't like Kingsley. I don't like this. I don't like that. People looking for a target. And the target can't be the wider PLP organization or politics, whether that FNM or PLP. That's not a target. The target is you. You. And so they lock eyes on you. They can take you out. You got to fix that. Only way you could hope for is a strong candidate to show up to take votes away from Omar Isaacs. You got to show a strong candidate. The COI candidate ain't gonna get 100 votes. And I know Tony. She's not gonna get 100 votes. Let me be decent. She probably get more than that. But it won't take you over the threshold to victory. Everybody believing that they can go to sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow morning with this kind of a victorious air, this essence in the air, this effervescence, this sort of a feel, this environment. It's going to be lighter, and people are going to vote COI, or people are going to vote, independent. That's just not going to happen. It's Groundhog Day. Every flippin' day is the same day. It's Groundhog Day in this country. Every flippin' day is the same day. When they go to sleep and they wake back up, some people are disappointed. Jesus, listen to me. Especially when they had beautiful dreams last night to wake up to the tribulation of their environment. First thing in the morning, people upset in this country because things are not working out for them. This is Groundhog Day. The groundhog has seen its shadow. And so you have an extended winter. This is a reality of the tribulation that a great deal of people suffer and endure in this country. Nobody's going to wake up and say, oh my God, today, Jesus, is the day I can vote COI today. That's not going to happen. The same people who made a decision to be able to rally and support the COI over the course of the last year, over the course of the last year and a half, over the course of the last 6 weeks, these people are going to get up and vote COI. In fact, some of them may be shaky and afraid to do this because they've been voting for a particular party for so long, they may be indifferent of being able to do that. I guarantee you the very first time that I voted for DNA, I almost voted against me. I telling you, I asking you, I own the flipping ticket and I almost voted against me. I said, what? I own the ticket. Because I've done a particular thing for such a long time that I felt like a traitor. I had to muster the courage to be able to vote for a fringe organization. This is not an easy thing. Some people take this, there's an oath associated with this. There's an idea for significant growth and development that exists in these particular spaces. This ain't just a casual thing. This ain't casual like a flippant thing. Come on, man. You think somebody can wake up and say, oh, what is that mist in the air? What are you saying, God? Is today the day that I vote for COI? Oh. You come around here and tell me God is going to touch the people's heart and make them. Listen, if he's going to touch their heart, he can do that a long time. He's going to do that a long time. God don't get mixed up in people's things. He ain't touch their heart to be able to make them serve him. You think he can touch their heart for politics? He don't have time for that. Let the evidence present itself. Let your passion convince people. Let your determination, let your vision, let these things happen, and let people be convinced that you are the path. You got to let people see that there is a light that exists in you. And then people will gravitate towards that light. Nobody can wake up and just decide that they can vote for a fringe organization. They've been wrestling between FNM and PLP for a very long time. And so I say that to say, I don't believe that the voting number for the COI in 8 Mile Rock will go over 300. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Lincoln did everything that he would have done. He had the support of Bimini, and he couldn't get over the 350 mark. He just couldn't. He couldn't. I told you all that he couldn't. I told you that. And he could not. And if you have a tremendous amount of persons, let's just say the DNA, I'm sorry, the COI in 8 Mile Rock, West Grand Bahama, gets 250 votes. Any other fringe organization, any other independent person that's presenting itself in West Grand Bahama, your votes have been absorbed in the COI's votes. COI has better marketing, they've been around longer, they speak with the language of empowerment and opportunities for people outside of the political norms. They can get the vote. You're not going to get the vote unless it's a strong individual that has ties to the community, and you can take those votes away from Omar Isaacs. If that can't happen, Kingsley, you gone. That's a difficult thing to swallow. It's a hell of a pill. That's what I mean. Horse pills was get stuck in your throat. You got to slap your neck to get that down. You're gone. There's no two ways about it. No one's saying with this kind of an overwhelming enthusiasm that you have been a superb candidate, that you've been insightful, that you've been accessible, that you've been you have foresight, even though you didn't have the finances, that you tapped into your creative. No one's saying none of these things about you. I'm only hearing negative things. And if you don't have the party backing you, you may be just one shot kill the crow. So, West End's in trouble. West Grand Bahama is in trouble. Central Grand Bahama, as it relates to the PLP, is a non-starter. East Grand Bahama, as it relates to the PLP, is also a non-starter. Hello? Pine Ridge. I think, and Mark O'Pine can cuss me for this, but I believe that Ginger Moxie could retain that seat. It don't matter her representation. It don't matter if you like her. Unless PLP is voting against her, she could retain that seat. Yeah, because Mark O'Pine, when you show up, you come in for 750 votes off the top. Bang. Once your name on the ticket, Mark, and you do some work that you've done last time, 750 people coming to you right off the top. All right? 750 people coming to you right off the top. Those numbers are coming from the FNM's caucus. It will come. You will capture those numbers from the FNM. You will. And as a result of being able to capture those numbers from the Free National Movement, 750, you pull them from him right away. Instantly. Even if some PLPs don't come out, Ginger could be able to scale out and win that. Forgive me. And here a little chilly. Please forgive me. Right? Ginger could scale out and lose and win that thing. Hello? Y'all didn't want to hear me. I know y'all didn't want to hear me. Ginger could scale out and win the thing. There is not going to be a lot of support in Pine Ridge for the COI, because their support is going to the independent candidate who has shown himself strong, courageous, and determined to be able to support those people in that constituency in the person of Mark O'Pine, Frederick Mark O'Pine. And so Frederick Mark O'Pine will be able to present in that constituency and present strong. The COI candidate may get less than 100 votes in that constituency. Just under 100 votes in that constituency. If we get good voter turnout. And Michael Bintart's going to win his seat. Michael Pintard, win for the FNM. Fraser Gibson for the FNM. Pine Ridge for the PLP. Kwesi Thompson for the FNM, East Grand Bahama. And Omar Isaacs for the Free National Movement in West Grand Bahama and Bimini. That's how I see it. The PLP is going to have a challenge. If I read Lucayan staff sent home, if I'm reading these particular things happen, if I'm reading the airport ain't finished yet, if I'm reading what happened to these, if I'm reading these things out of Grand Bahama, the Grand Bahamian people are going to make a decision. And beyond the fact that they're not necessarily going against the PLP, you don't have strong candidates. You don't. The PLP has not presented strong candidates in the constituencies for people to actually being able to say, well, you know, this is an excellent candidate. I'm not talking about people who are qualified and recognizable names in their industries, whether they're doctors or lawyers or whatever the case may be. You have to be a strong advocate. You have to be able to know how to agitate. You have to be able to be someone who's a go-getter, a community builder, all these things, someone who's been out there. You have to be able to have these things. You have to have someone who is savvy about politics, and the PLP doesn't have that throughout the length and breadth of Grand Bahama. You don't. I know Kirk Hollingsworth, I don't know if you can give him an opportunity again. But you don't have it. And as a result of that, you're going to have difficulty in Grand Bahama. Y'all want to do this today? You want to do this today? Let's do it. Grand Bahama. PLP, FNM. We say 1 PLP, 4 for the FNM in Grand Bahama. In Abaco, we say, I think Kirk Cornish could win in North Abaco. I think he can. I think Kai Mills is going to lead to a significant upset. If Kai Mills doesn't take the whole hog, he's going home with the biggest portion outside of the victor. Yeah. He got 2 thighs and a pigtail. That's what he came home with. You understand? That's what Kai Mills going home with. Kai Mills is going to show up and get an additional 750 to 900 votes, 650 to 900 votes. And that may not necessarily be victory for him. It's starting at 650. That may not necessarily be victory for him, but it will definitely spell defeat for Boodle. It will. Because PLPs, unless there is this sort of this derogatory campaign that's going to be levied and launched against Kirk Cornish to be able to remind people fresh and ready, and they send all kind of videos around, so forth and so on, for these allegations to be able to hold true in a sense. And I'm only saying this is just allegedly, hypothetically. This is nothing that I've seen or know. I don't know this. But I'm saying unless there is a significant campaign levied against Kirk Cornish, he could retain North Abaco's seat. North Abaco, 1 for the PLP. South Abaco, you would believe that the PLP is going to be there, but they've already started to send some stuff around, and they're indifferent about this particular candidate. For the South, I can't remember his name. I think he's a white male, Caucasian. There's already this sort of a rumbling that exists that he may not necessarily be the man. And his affiliation formally and prior with the Free National Movement has placed him in a particular position. Hello. So, Abaco, I give the PLP 1 seat. 1-1. Okay? I give the PLP Andres 2 seats. PLP. I do. I know Carlton Bowleg has he has something to say about that. But even he, if not being able to, if he is successful in retaining this position in North Andros, has already indicated that his desire to be able to move to Berry Island and Bimini. So if you've already indicated your desire to move to the Bimini and Berry Island, you know what I'm saying is correct. The PLP is going to win the North and the South. No matter what they say or didn't say or what I hear or didn't hear. The PLP will win the North and the South. And Andros. And Exumo. Moxie is going to have a hell of a challenge. Not because of articulation, or passion, or vision, none of these things. It's money. That's it. You're fighting against money when it comes to the DPM. You're fighting against money. And if you don't have the money disposable, accessible, rich and real, this is going to be a difficult chance for you, opportunity for you. That's just simple. When you look at Sylvanus Petty, that's going to be a fight. Sylvanus Petty and Howard Ricky Mackey is going to be a fight in North Eleuthera. That's going to be a fight. Ricky Mackey was kicked out when a lot of persons didn't believe that he should have been kicked out. Ricky Mackey stepped aside, was ousted by the constituents in that area. Sylvanus Petty came to the forefront. Some persons said he would have done well. Sylvanus Petty indicated that he won't step away from politics. Word has come back to me to indicate that the people of North Eleuthera indicated that they wanted him and him alone. And so he returned based upon sort of the urging and the commitment from the organization to put him back in this particular space. But he's going to have a challenged time, especially if Howard Ricky Mackey decides to be able to utilize his posture against him. Yeah. If he decides to be able to weaponize this kind of a concept and idea that he indicated that he was going to run because he's scared, because he has no real commitment to the people of this community, of this constituency. If Howard Ricky Mackey decides to be able to utilize that against him, then you're done. I believe that Clay Sweeting will beat out the Philippa lady. I believe that Clay Sweeting will beat out the Philippa lady. I believe that. I believe that Brave Davis will win in the constituency of Cat Island, Rum Key, and San Salvador. I believe that he will win. I don't know who's the candidate for Michael just yet. I believe that Adrian Gibson will also be a significant upset as it relates to what's going to happen in his constituency if he's not given the nomination by the Free National Movement for whatever reason, if he still has support on the ground, he could capture almost 500 votes. And as a result of that, you put yourself in this kind of a position and you realize those things, then the PLP may just scale out of the Family Islands. If there's 15 seats in the Family Islands, the PLP capture about 8. So you scale out, and then here we go with Nassau. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of work to do. And the PLP needs to get to it. They need to get to it. They need to be able to start to think about these things from a historic standpoint, from a strategic standpoint, from a futuristic standpoint, and make decisions accordingly. Let me take this break, guys. Going to be right back after this.
Taking Bahamian music to the world.
This DJ
Sampler, hit that subscribe button like a goatskin drum.
Hello, Ricky, it's Johnny Gate. This Johnny Gate, man, listen, don't believe they're trying to keep us locked down. Everyone let's go inside the kill man, till the reggae straight man, that's sweet music. You know why they go there, you know when they go there, it's kill man. Watch this. When the music plays, I'm the first one to dance. Sexy gal gon' whine on me, while my rum in my hand. Reggae spread so sweet, don't think you understand. I go in to mash up the place every time I go by the farm. I always get drinking till I lose and I wet. Nobody gon' watch me if I can't bad and I sweat. On your market set, drunk but I ain't missing a step. Man, if you ain't feel the vibe, then stay over there by yourself. When Reagan's great return, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When Reagan's great return, I can drink all the rum, I can get on my. When Reagan's great returns, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When Reagan's great return, I can drink all the rum, I can get on my. Get him, Ricky! Just give me the Reagan's great. Beat that drum and scrape that way. I get scrapped inside Long Bay. I like to fish with Johnny Cake. I say, just give me the Reagan's great. Beat that drum and scrape that way. I get scrapped inside Long Bay. I like to fish with Johnny Cake. I say, just give me the Reagan's great. Beat that drum and scrape that way. I get scrapped inside Long Bay. I like to fish with Johnny Cake. When the music plays, I'm the first one to dance.
Yo, bust
Down
it,
at
bass
the
sampler,
reggae
bust
with
it,
some blue
my
marlins in
lord.
my hands. Reggae step so sweet, don't think you understand. Man, wanging on woman, wanging back on a man. I always get drinking till I lose and I wet. Nobody gon' watch me if I can't bad and I sweat. On your market set, drunk but I ain't missing a step. Man, if you ain't feel no vibe, then stay over there by yourself. When Reagan's great return, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When Reagan's great return, I can drink all the rum, I can get on my. When Reagan's great return, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When Reagan's great return, I can drink all the rum, I can get on my. Get him, Ricky! Just give me the Reagan's great. Beat that drum and scrape that way. I get scrapped inside Long Bay. I like to fish with Johnny Cake. I say, 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 like to fish with Johnny Cake.
3 a.m. and I'm waiting for the sun. Lost track of the days, man. Lucky this ain't no fun. Cell phone in my left hand, TV on my right. My mouth action dry 'cause there ain't no rum inside. Longing for the days when I was wild and free. Out to everything was lit, not a care or worry. Now it's like I've joined the
Yo,
clan of
bust it, bass
HMP.
sampler,
But
bust
I
it,
ain't
my
commit
lord.
no crime, so please set me free. Loose me, let me go. I don't want the inside no more. Loose me, let me go. This is killing me, that's for sure. So let me out, let me out, let me out, yeah, let me out. Loose me, let me go. I don't want the inside no more.
The Bahamian music ambassador, DJ Sampler.
Yo, bust it, bass sampler, bust it, my lord.
3 a.m. and I'm waiting for the sun. Lost track of the days, man. Lucky this ain't no fun. Cell phone in my left hand, TV on my right. My mouth action dry 'cause there ain't no rum inside. Longing for the days when I was wild and free. Out to everything was lit, not a care or worry. Now it's like I've joined the clan of HMP. But I ain't commit no crime, so please.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, just being able to jam with you and talk to you about what's happening around the country, around our communities and our constituencies as we're making these particular decisions. More specifically, we're looking at the constituency now of Freetown under the PLP, the Progressive Liberal Party. In the papers today, you can be able to see some things. Monroe faces challenge for party nomination in Freetown. Freetown MP and Minister of National Security Wayne Monroe will face off with his challenger how you say, Omaranique Bowe today when they meet with the Progressive Liberal Party's Candidates Committee as they finalize its remaining slate of candidates ahead of this year's election. Others scheduled for interviews include St. Anne's with its aspirant Keno Wong and former PLP Senator Robin Lyons. All right, the move comes as the party ramps up preparation for the upcoming election and plans to ratify additional candidates later this week. Yesterday, Mr. Monroe expressed confidence in his renomination chances, saying that his work speaks for itself. His comments come as some Freetown residents have expressed frustration with his representation, accusing him of neglecting their concerns. Yesterday, Monroe highlighted his accomplishments both nationally and constituency level, citing his role in House of Assembly and his work on the new Freetown Community Center. So anytime I'm given a task, a job, I do my best to perform it. One of the issues that a great deal of us have a problem with in this country is the idea that there are people who take directive in leadership positions. When everyone's scrambling to identify whether or not where leadership starts, where does it end, and there is a supersession and desire not to be able to travel this long serpentine of a line that goes to a position of non-growth and development, whether or not none of these things happen. Watch me. As a result of all of this and all of these particular things happen, people have made decisions. And in the midst of them making decisions, they've decided that I want to get to leadership. I want to be able to have a visionaire. I want someone who can be able to articulate and insightfully being able to speak with clarity to what needs to happen in this constituency. I want someone who can say, I can help you to get to this point in this position. That's what I want. I want someone who could be able to help me get to this point and this position. Talk to me. I can read your text right now. For Wayne Monroe to be able to come out and articulate just what people have kind of, which is cringeworthy for me, in a leadership capacity for a constituency who have afforded you an opportunity. There was no allegiance to the PLP per se, right? Let's just be clear. They gave you an opportunity amidst allegations, speculations, conversations that existed the last dispensation, the last election. They gave you an opportunity to perform. They dash away, they wash as you dress as you clean you, which is diagonal. They dash him away, knowing that he has access to the communities, knowing that they utilize his particular space, knowing that, he's an all right guy in so many instances. They dash him away to afford you an opportunity. And in the midst of them affording you the opportunity, the first thing you come out and say, well, so anytime I'm given a task, a job, I do my best to perform in it. Come on, man. I mean, some of these people in this constituency don't even know what the hell they need. They need a leader who can be able to identify who's traveled, who is exposed, who's connected, that can be able to assist them in certain areas, that can be able to help them and say, hey, listen, you can do this, you can do this. If we create this, and creating an opportunity outside of just merely being able to create a Freetown Community Center, to create an opportunity for them, to put money in their pocket, just not to look at them, to put money in their pocket, to put them to work, to identify their skill set, to help them develop, to be able to do some things. People want leadership. And in the midst of that leadership, you don't have to have this kind of this posture with every strategic steps that you take within your constituency to become the prime minister of the country. That's not what this is about. You focus on the task at hand. You're not doing this and looking over your shoulder to see whether or not you think they're ready for me yet. All right? And I hate that when I see people giving out to the poor and destitute in our country. Nothing I hate more than a Negro or some individual, Negro or otherwise, giving you food, a gift, money, and then saying, hold on, let me take a picture. And posting these people up on Instagram. Nobody want to be a part of your experiment, your poppy show, your desire to be able to enter into the gates. You have to do this with transparency of heart. You have to do this with a very clear understanding of the structure of who you are as an individual. You do not do this with expectation to be able to come and hit a PowerPoint presentation to tell people that I've done these particular things, put me back in. No, people don't vote for you based upon some kind of a checklist that you've laid out with the bullet points that you can be able to say, well, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. No one does that in this country. People vote for you for how you make them feel. Come on, man. I just explained to you at the top of the show that the election was won in 1992 and 1997 based upon how the rhythm and the rhyme made people feel. How it was infectious, how it became a part of their essence and their DNA, how it has not left a great deal of us up to this point. No one cares about whether or not you hit internal checklists that people can be satisfied. Well, that may give you brownie points with the government. That may give you brownie points in these steads, but it's not going to give you brownie points with the constituency. It's not going to do that. It's not. And now, you as with seniority, not political, but positional, let's be decent, from a cabinet standpoint, with seniority, with the optics of the government having a dependency upon you to perform to the highest caliber, with seniority, from an optical standpoint, you are being challenged. Isn't that crazy? You're being challenged. And every one of us is saying the same thing, who are on the outside looking in. Every one of us is saying the same thing. Who is this Moss lady? Let's read it. Let's go on. Not Moss. What's her name? Armanic Bow. Who is this Bow lady? So let's read it. Let's read it a piece more what he says. He says, so I'm given this task and I always perform it because that is how you will be judged ultimately. This is what he says. Having been led by the Prime Minister Philip Edward Davis KC professionally, I know how demanding he is. He gave me duties in writing and I've used all of my skill and my ability to carry them out. This is what he says. This is the first time I've seen you do this. This is the first time I've seen you do this. And it's so obvious. Wayne Monroe. This is desperation incarnate. This is peculiar. Anyway, so he says, Miss Boa, longtime community advocate, has long expressed her intention to pursue the nomination. She lost to Mr. Monroe in the last election cycle. Yesterday, Mr. Monroe said that he does not like her challenge personally. noting that they are both members of the Progressive Liberal Party. I work with whoever I have to work with. Come on, man. That ain't nothing to say, man. Oh, Wayne. The difference between a technocrat and we got to get out of here. The difference between a technocrat and a politician is their approach to an issue. This is a technocrat's posture, the necessity of being able to work with whoever you have to work with. But a politician, even though they harbor those sentiments, would never articulate that. They always give homage and pay homage and give this sort of a recognition to persons. This is going to be a challenge. And beyond the challenge that exists internally, Freetown is shaping up to be a hot seat. Because if Blue continues on his path, if he gets into the constituency and touches those persons, if he gets the support financially to be able to touch some people, if he can be able to do that, coupled with his legacy of community, Bo shows, Blue Johnson shows up with 600 votes right off the top. And if he gets 600 votes, and Lincoln Bain is able to, Lincoln Deal, is able to convince these persons to vote for him, and he can get to the 1,500, 1,600 threshold, then the PLP is out. The PLP is out. And so this is a challenge. Now, if you're saying to me that this Bo lady is a community activist, that you've already done your homework, and you've identified that she is the person that persons are going to gravitate towards, then I believe that you should put her in. Because there is a sentiment that exudes from this constituency that speaks in specificity to what their thoughts are about the cabinet minister. And though the cabinet minister can be able to lay out how he's done well for the prime minister and what the prime minister requires him to do, that can lead you to an ambassadorial position, that can lead you to a Senate position, that could still put you back into the cabinet of the Bahamas, but it cannot lead you to victory on the ground in the constituency of Freetown. Because no one in Freetown asking, well, did you do what the prime minister asked you to do? No one care about that. No one care about whether or not you did what the prime minister asked you to do. Their only care and concern is whether or not you've done what I asked you to do. You work for me. And that's a challenge that Wayne Monroe will have in that constituency. I want to be decent as I say this to you. I want to thank you so kindly, guys. You know, we didn't talk about the Family Islands, where I see victory in those areas. I'm still waiting to see who will be ratified and identified for the constituency of Maical, who will be ratified and identified for the constituency of Long Island, who will be ratified and identified for those particular spaces. In Grand Bahama, we have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 seats that are open. 1, 2, 3 seats that are open, and they haven't found a specific person for those particular seats just yet. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to know who's going where and when those particular things would happen. So, guys, that's the show today. I want to thank you so much for being able to tune in. We're going to see you tomorrow. God, Spirit, Our Life, right here on The Foundation. Have a great day, guys.
I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahama land to the foundation.